Hello, and thanks for stopping by. In this video, I'm going to discuss sharpening, my opinions on sharpening. This is a tutorial not based on me showing you how to do sharpening, but to explain what goes into sharpening an image, I believe. Now, the images that you see here were shot with a Canon 70 to 200 millimeter 2.8. This type of perspective you're not going to get shooting with a substitute lens because telephotos give exactly that look of fullness. If you intend to shoot, I'm going to speak about the bike scene or shooting fast action. I've seen some photographers use what they have, you know, um, lenses below 50 millimeters, which is fine if you're going to do portraits or if you're going to do um, static shots of the riders chilling or what have you. But the scope of this video is sharpening. It's going to touch on cameras, different types of cameras. It's going to touch on different types of lenses. It's going to touch on uh, different stuff, mainly not just sharpening. But for the sake of this video, it's typically is going to be strictly on sharpening. Now, I sharpen the images at the end of fine tuning the uh, the actual image. Now, on this one here, this was shot with a 2470. Let's start there. You always want to bear in mind that you don't want to excessively sharpen an image to the point that you blow out the skin. The skin tones has to be maintained in having the texture, as you see in his face, his arms. You don't want to introduce any weird artifacting by over sharpening. We call it cooking the image. You can see the eyelashes here, whites of the eyes, just overall. Even zoomed in some more, you still see that. Even you can see the fuzz on the shirts. You know, this is kick-ass sharpening right here, and also shooting with a stellar lens of the 24-72-8 by far is no slouch. Now I intend to get this perspective. I was shooting really close. I think it's at, I believe, probably 70. I would have to look at the metadata to find out. However, now I do selective sharpening. Your homework assignment is to YouTube 3 videos on YouTube on sharpening. I'm not going to cover something that's already been covered and possibly endless times on YouTube. So it's up to you to find 3 videos that deals with sharpening. One type of sharpening is a high pass filter. That's one technique. Now it's for you to find out what a high pass sharpening is and how to use it. Secondly, is how to use that selectively within the image. Again, to edit the image, to apply sharpening selectively, not globally. Now, you have to put on your thinking cap and figure that out. I'm not going to always explain everything because I believe the joy of learning is to figure things out. That makes you not just develop better cognitive skills, but you create your own style opposed to copying the recipe that I give you. Moving forward. Now, here we have, I do not know this particular rider, but this one is definitely a badass. Designer Boy Nas. 70 to 200 here. Sharpness is just ridiculous, out this world. Same thing with Up Top Corey. Vivid, sharp. Selective sharpening is applied to enhance while preserving skin tone. You cannot blow the skin tone out. Now, this is one of my favorites. I like this one. I'm not actually finished editing this one. It's a little dull. I need to spice it up a bit. But using these images, I'm just using as illustrations as to the degree of sharpening. It's up to you to come to that conclusion. What is good for you? You can always, sharpen like crazy, but then lower the opacity. That's another homework assignment. What does the opacity does within Photoshop? Another thing is, another question that I get is, what type of applications do I use? Photoshop. Primarily Photoshop. I do have some plugins that I use to help bring greater detail out into the image. I won't disclose that as yet. There's tons of plugins that enhances your imagery. Do your homework and to find those out. But primarily, some people use Lightroom. I use Photoshop and Adobe Bridge. The reason being is because I have a lot of custom scripting and a lot of advanced editing techniques that I use that I have to use Bridge in conjunction with Photoshop. But I digress. Another thing too is that also keep your images straight. I know this is a tutorial on sharpening, but see, so look at the windows. I need to see straight lines, not crooked lines. Lines are supposed to be straight. What else do I need to cover? Like I said, I primarily shoot with a 1DX Mark II. That is my tool of choice. And that is a full frame sensor with a 70-200 mainly. And these are my findings in the field. If there's any other questions that you may have about sharpening the images and when to apply it, feel free to leave me a message. If I have not touched on sharpening clearly enough or in a simplistic way, drop me a message. If you need more clarification, just drop me a message. Let me know if there's a video that you would like me to create on any other subject of fast action photography, mainly from the dirt bike scene. Feel free to give me a shout. Until next time, peace.